Hey, what's going on, everybody out there in YouTube? I'm Pocan Joe, and as always, you're pretty cool for swinging by. Appreciate having you here. We are here for my haul video, and we'll do some updates for my contest. What? You didn't know about my contest? It's like you don't even watch this channel. We'll get to that at the end. But hey, let's talk about some comic books that I got this week. I got one comic book that has not gotten here yet, and that's Conspiracy, the Illuminati. I've really been enjoying that series. I can't wait to get that into my goody hands. Some of these comic books I've read, some of them I haven't. I mean, it is only Thursday, and I take crazy notes on my comic books because I'm a nerd. That's what I do. So some of them I've read, some of them I haven't. Let's talk. Let's just go through them and see what we got going on. First, I did read this one. This is Fantastic Four number 10. This is a tie-in to War of the Realms. Now, I have to apologize. I have lied to everybody out there. I said I wasn't going to get every single tie-in. Not doing it. You can't make me do it. I'm so happy I have picked up a lot of them. Because this was a great story. It was so great. We got to hang out on Yancey Street. If you don't know, that's where the Fantastic Four and Ben Grimm, and that's where they all kind of live. And then there's this sense of community involvement in there. The kid, what's his name? Franklin? Yeah, Franklin. Franklin doesn't quite fit in with the other kids there, and objectively so. He's legitimately the equivalent of a god, and he knows he is, which makes it even worse. And we finally see him find his place in there when he's finally told by the other kids in the streets, you don't have to be a god, man. This is Yancey Street, and you're one of us now. I thought that was very, like it hit me right there in the heart. I like that, and I love stories where the community comes together to battle something off. I don't know. I'm a sucker for that kind of story. Maybe it's my own romantic naiveness, but I absolutely love this. This was a great story. A lot of heart put into it, and a lot of attention to detail, especially in the dialogue, making sure that everybody sounds like they're from the Lower East Side of New York with the personality and everything. I loved it. I really did. I can't talk enough about it. I thought it was a great one. Next, War Scrolls. Again, another War of the Realms tie-in. We got 3 stories in this one. That I was not expecting. No, I don't read the summaries of comic books. I don't want to go into a comic book and already have prejudgment when I read them, so I just buy them and go that route. Now, first off, I really liked the Daredevil story in this. I thought it was not a whole lot of nuancy type stuff in it. Basically, we get Wilson Fisk being Wilson Fisk, taking advantage of an opportunity. Is pretty much what happened there. And then we get Daredevil, who's kind of fighting this higher... He's not quite used to being a god. He's made to fight. And then Wilson Fisk is kind of equal to him at that point. And having that kind of battle go on. And what does that look like? It legitimately looks like people getting thrown through buildings. Like, it was kind of awesome. Okay, to see these street levels being elevated to this level. The next story was about Doctor Strange. And I found this one to be very prolific to some degree. So I guess it wouldn't be very prolific to some degree. That was stupid to say. I should not have said that. And if I edited my videos, I would fix it. But no, people make mistakes. I found it unusual, but great at the same time. What did we get in this story? Basically, we got Doctor Strange, who tried to get everybody to escape New York, right? Because the War of the Realms coming, and they blast them off or magically portal them into the new Avenger Mountain. Unfortunately, the way the spell worked is it ended up taking the heroes out of the fight and moving them as well. And he's kind of dealing with, was that the best option? In other words, he has regret or doubt, and he's not dealing with it very well. So he gets into what we could only consider at the time a meditative state, but he's actually going to go see Nightmare in his realm, who is loving the War of the Realms because everybody's scared. He can do his thing. It's kind of how he feeds. And then mistakenly, he kind of tells Doctor Strange how to fix his problem because he's kind of a bragger. And I guess he tried to play pseudo-psychiatrist, and Doctor Strange found his own truth in it. That's a powerful statement. I would say that that's accurate. I'm trying not to ruin it for you. Really, if you haven't yet, read that story. It's really great. And then after that, we get a very story about Loki. The most important factor I found in or the most interesting thing, I should say, that I found in the Loki story was Odin wearing his helmet, his guard at the time, and it had horns on it. And Loki, as a child, wanted to know why that was, relevant. And after explanation, I'm not going to ruin it because it kind of fits the persona. I guess that's where we get that he wears the horns now, ultimately, but the reason is super important to the character. Something I don't think we probably always know, but we didn't know the origin of his personality. And I think we kind of got it there. And there's also a love interest. Two superheroes in this obviously have affectionate feelings for each other. We kind of get introspect to their relationship. I didn't particularly find it. I don't know what to say. I didn't find it overly important. It wasn't very interesting. It sounded like a married couple to me. No big deal. So yeah, that was that. So there we go. Next, you'll never guess. War of the Realms, right? Spider-Man in the League of the Realms. In this one, we find out what the burden of leadership looks for. This has been a very popular topic in a lot of books written by colonels and rear admirals and people like that in the military. We kind of see it play out here. Some of the people don't respect Spider-Man as their authoritative leader because he's not very authoritative. He's trying to find a peaceful road, trying to figure out how to build forces. He's thinking strategically. And, of course, the barbarian types just wanted bloodshed. They just want to drop bodies left and right. And then, of course, to team up with the Angels. Interesting fact, they introduced one of the Angels, and her title is Pole March. I asked a few people if they knew what this word was, and surprisingly, a lot of people didn't. However, it doesn't really fit into the context of the story. But a pole march is basically a chieftain or a commander during ancient Greek times. With them being angels, that's kind of a cross of two different mythos there. But, whatever, call them whatever you want. But we find out that she was also in love with her significant other, and apparently their queen had no problems with dropping that body or sacrificing the body to Malekith so Malekith can drop that body in a very sadistic way. And yeah, that was kind of touching. That was kind of rough right there, but it gave us the motivation for that character to do the right thing. So hopefully some cool stuff will come out of it. Other than that, the story kind of dragged slightly. And I don't know, it just didn't seem like it had a very smooth flow to it. The dialogue in some cases just seemed awkward. I'm not really sure. But we did get a really cool reveal at the end that somebody really just wants to die. And they can't because they're super powerful and they're being made to fight. And, yeah, you definitely want that part you may want to know. So I'd probably pick it up for just that. Oh, by the way, if you don't want to read any of these comic books, but you want to talk about them anyway or find out more about them, you can check out Blaster to Stash It Sunday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube. Man, do we have a great time on there, talking about what we hate, what we like, what we care less about. And, of course, we have the live chat where you can interact with us. And if you have questions about particular books, because you're deciding if you want to get that book or not, definitely ask it in there. Or maybe we're not talking enough about a book. Let us know. That's why we are there, so we could have communication with you. Moving on, another great read this week. Oh, this was just the art in it, the surprise reveals, the nuanced story that's kind of involved with it, the character, it's very complicated characters, but they're still interesting. I thought Immortal Hulk this week was awesome. By the way, that's a kick-ass cover. We see Red Harpy legitimately first full appearance in this one. Yeah, that was kind of... At first, it kind of surprised me that they would put that much detail into her, and that was kind of awesome. We also see Abomination, and we find out something weird about Abomination in this, too. They didn't make it but so clear, but Abomination's back. kind of, sort of, maybe. Plus, the way they designed Abomination in this one is kind of like something right out of a horror movie, legitimately. This is a great story. We find out Joe Fixit's been, living it up a little bit, maybe, in a casino. And Bruce Banner's trying to make sense of everything. The question is when does this Hulk, this Devil Hulk, as we're calling him, and Bruce Banner actually start agreeing on things? Things can get very dangerous, and it looks like that's the road that we're going down. So more exciting stuff. Definitely pick it up, please. Oh, let's see here. Another one that I read, Amazing Spider-Man number 22. What an end to a great series. This is, so far, I haven't read everything yet, but as of right now, this is my pick of the week. I like this Kraven that they've characterized in this book. He's more of the noble savage than he is just some whacked out hunter that wants to kill Spider-Man. He's actually making sense in this to some degree. You may not like what he does, but his narrative kind of makes sense. Yeah, this is great, and we find out that, Kraven has to die, but how he dies, this is so fitting to the prophecy that he spoke to in it. It's hard to say anything about this book. It really is. It's legitimately hard. But yeah, this is the end of this particular story arc right here. I cannot think of a better way to end this. And it had a twist. It had action. It had great art in it. Great dialogue. A lot of it was narration towards the end, but that was okay because it came off like a speech, like a motivating speech, and I absolutely enjoyed that, and especially with the words that were used in there. Just thought it was absolutely epic. Definitely check that out. Moving on, what else did I pick up? I picked up this variant cover of Thanos number 2. I have not read these. These I have not read. So yeah, I picked that up. I'm going to give it another shot. I was okay with number 1. Let's see if this gets me spiced up and juiced up a little bit. If not, I'll throw it in an auction. Moving on. Spider-Man Leviathan Rising. I so wanted the variant cover for this. I definitely wanted more than I wanted this one, but I don't want to miss out on getting the book because I've been kind of following this series thus far. Looks like we're going to get some good stuff in this, story-wise. Other than that, or at least give me a good launching off point for the Leviathan storyline that's going to be coming up. Make me interested in the story. This is how you're going to do it. Otherwise, there's always other comics. I picked up, what else? Oh, I picked up this variant copy of Spawn number 297. We're on the road to 300, and we're promised exciting things. I dare you. Like, legitimately, I dare you. I don't think we're going to get anything too great because they'll probably pull a fast one on us and put it at 301 or 299 because it's McFarlane. He does that stuff. Moving on. Pick this up. I like a good horror comic book. And I love it when you call me Big Papa. Okay. Moving on. We got horror comics. This is by... Who's this by? Antarctic Presses. I'm a Golden Age fan. I collect Golden Age. I saw this cover. It reminded me of a Golden Age. So yeah, I picked this up. I just flipped through it real quick. And the art's pretty cool in this. And this looks like it's going to be a very vicious comic book. Probably not for young children to read. Let's say PG-13. Moving on. Heroes in Crisis. I have purposely been avoiding all the spoilers for this. But I got a feeling by the look of people that this did not end well. But hopefully we get some good dialogue. We see some cool characters in it. I don't know. I had a lot of hopes in this because I thought it was really building up to something good, a big final issue, the ending of a series, something really cool, or the ending of a mini story, something really cool. And I don't know because the last couple issues kind of dragged and they kind of shortcutted the story, and it was just like, I don't know. Exciting Comics number 2. This was by Antarctic Press. This was an impulse buy. I remember I got number 1. But I couldn't remember if I liked it or not. kind of flipped through it real quick just to see if I could remember any of it. I kind of started remembering the stories, but I didn't know if I actually liked it or not. So that's what happens when you buy between 20 and 25 comic books a week. Things tend to kind of blend together. So yeah, we'll give that a read, and we'll talk about that at Blaster's Stash at Sunday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully by then it will make sense. Next, I got The Batman. Last Night on Earth. Again, this was another quick flip through. It's a big reveal or a big story that they've been pushing. Let's see. I don't know. Who's the writer of this one? Let's find out. We can probably take it. I guess I should have picked that before I... Yeah. Who's the writer of this? Should I worry about it? Because it'll probably make me judge the story. Who's writing this one? Got a lot of VPs involved in this. They got their shout-outs. Okay. Well, it's in here somewhere, I'm sure. We'll give it a read. We'll find out what's going on. Excuse me while I have an awkward sip of Southern goodness. Man, living in Virginia, drinking sweet tea. I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, so anyway, we'll give this a read, and we'll give it a fair criticism again on Sunday night. We'll see what happens. Hopefully they do some cool stuff in it, because some of the Batman stories have been kind of, well, you know, you've been reading them too. Just depressing, sad old man who got left by a woman. So he needs to, I don't know, just commit suicide or something. I don't know. All right, so next we got Dark Red. I've been enjoying this. I genuinely enjoy this story. It's a modern take on the tragic vampire story. The typical tragic vampire story with maybe some nuancy twist. We find out the guy it's been talking to in a store that kind of wants to move into his territory is a Nazi, and our hero may have a problem with Nazis, as he was in World War II fighting Nazis. So that should be interesting. This is a really unique story, even though it's following a classic trope like a vampire story. But I'm definitely looking forward to that. And other than the book that did not get here, it's been a light week for me. Hopefully I can find some other things to read. I'm going to get done like that. All right, so let's talk about the Villains Contest real quick. If you don't know, I'm having my Villains Contest. Basically, find a villain, the story of a villain, something with a villain. The villain cannot be doing anything good. He must be bad. I emphasize the word bad in it. You do not have to be in the United States. You do not have to like. You do not have to subscribe. You do have to let me know that you have either done a video or you can comment on the contest video. The link will be down below. Just real quick, why do you relate to it? What do you two have in common in either the action or the villain themselves? I find this to be an interesting. I'm not going to go into the whole reasons why I'm doing it. Again, the video description's down below. But I am doing it because I'm an evil jerk. So just know that I'm an evil jerk. And again, have fun with it. Don't overthink this. We've all heard a villain do, or we've seen a villain do something that gave us hairs on the back of our neck. And we were like, oh, I could probably do that. That's the story you want to tell, just to make it simple. All right. And then, yes, it will have to be a comic book villain of some sort, because let's be honest, comic book villains aren't always the coolest. But other than that, I may do another video today. I'm thinking about entering another contest. Speaking of contests out there, if you haven't, check out Spectacular Spider Grandpa. He's doing a 500 sub contest. I really like what he's doing. You get to show off some covers. You get to talk about some artwork. Definitely a cool one. Bear Island Comics is also doing a contest as well. And it's kind of fun. I've been thinking about that one. It's hard. Like hard. How do I want to approach that contest? It's extremely interesting. Again, that's Bear Island Comics. Link down below. I'll go ahead and throw that in there as well. Hey guys, this has been great. I gotta get this video uploaded, and then my wife will come downstairs, and I gotta smooch on her for a little while, because I kind of like, we've been married 20 years. So, yeah, we like each other. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Take it easy. Bye.